You are listening to Radio Maria Canada, a Catholic voice wherever you are. We now present the program Voices of Vocation, a program which features interviews of newly ordained priests in the Archdiocese of Toronto. Today's interview is conducted by Sephra D'Souza.
Welcome, dear listeners and viewers, to another episode on Voices of Vocation. Our guest for today is Father Daniel Lee. Father Daniel hails from Korea and at the time of this interview had just got back from his pilgrimage on the Camino de Compostela. It is amazing how Father Daniel draws parallels between his journey on the Camino and also his journey to the priesthood. Let's dive in to find out more. Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Voices of Vocation. Today we are in conversation with Father Daniel Lee from the Archdiocese of Toronto, and he's a newly ordained priest, one of the 5 who interviewed with us a couple of days before. And thank you, Father Daniel, for taking the time out and coming over to Radio Maria and sharing your story with us. So, Father, how was your drive here?
It was good. There was no traffic, first of all. So, as some of you know, I'm the new associate pastor at St. Bernadette Parish in Ajax. So, I drove all the way from Ajax to here. But the drive was really good. So, thanks be to God. And so, I came on here on time. So, yeah.
That's really good. Father, by the way, I used to belong to St. Bernadette's in Ajax.
Right, yeah, okay.
Long time ago. I was in Ajax for a couple of months, and it was a very nice place, really vibrant parish. And I'm so glad you're there, and I'm so glad that you are taking care of the fold over there. And I hope we can meet soon again.
That's good, because I just moved in there like 2 weeks ago. Oh. And that's my first time in Ajax, and I'm just loving it. I love the community of the parish. I love the pastor there, Father Chris Remieux as well. So everything's great.
He's a good guy.
Yes.
Okay, Father, first of all, thank you for doing what you do. And thank you for saying yes to God. Can you tell us what inspired you to pursue this path to priesthood?
Yes. So growing up, I wasn't raised Catholic. And so my whole family, we didn't have any particular religion. So out of my whole family, my maternal grandmother was the only Catholic. Even then, she was a convert. She used to be a Buddhist. But then out of my entire family, she was the only Catholic in my family. So she was the one planted seed in our family, that, Catholic faith, right? And when we first moved to Canada, it was my mom's idea that we should all get baptized. So in year 2000, Easter, as a whole family, we got baptized at St. Andrew Kim Parish, the Korean parish in Toronto.
I see.
So that's also my home parish.
Yeah.
Since then, we were very much involved in the church, especially me and my brother. We joined the Acolyte, the altar servers. And one day we were invited by one of the Korean seminarians, or maybe 2, to the St. Augustine Seminary, right? So,
over here.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a newly baptized family and me and my brother, we didn't know much about faith. But so that was my first time being to St. Augustine Seminary. And that was my first time learned about the priesthood. And again, as a newly baptized, I just wasn't aware of what priesthood is. I know we have a pastor at my parish, but I didn't really think much about the priesthood or even seminary. What seminarians are. Right? So that opportunity, that experience gave me gave me the first time getting to know about the priesthood and the seminary life. But even then, after that visit, I didn't really think much about the priesthood. Because I thought that's just someone else's call, right? So I just never thought of that, right? So, but I remember I had a conversation at the seminary, and there's another parishioner was there, and then he told me that, Daniel, did you know that seminary is the the place where attacked the most by the evil. So I was like, and I heard that, yeah, that makes sense, you know? Oh, you know. So after that, I pray for them, pray for their vocation, priesthood, or religious life. I start praying for them. And one time at the seminary, at my home parish, so there's usually every Korean parish there are two Korean nuns.
I see.
From Korea. Right? So every Korean parish will have like sisters from like Benedictine sister.
I see.
So one of them was in charge of acolyte, and she came up to me. So Daniel, how was the visit to the seminary? I was like, it was good. So I just shared what I just shared. Like I started praying for them, and no. So have you ever thought of priesthood? Thought of becoming a priest?
Yeah.
Like I replied like, how can I even dare to think about it? Because I never thought of it. Like I don't think I'm really worthy enough to even think about it. Right? But her response was like, Daniel, you don't choose God. God chooses you.
Yeah.
So that really resonated in my head for a while. So I started praying about it. And then one day, you know what? I felt called. Like long story short, I felt called. And yeah, so pretty much that was the kind of, the beginning of my, like vocation, like I discerning about the priesthood. And so that's how I discovered my the vocation to the priesthood. And I don't know if you want to hear more about like how I became.
Please tell us more.
You can go on forever, right? Yeah, but as I shared at ordinary dinner, like I talked about 4 women, which are my maternal grandmother. Yeah. One of the reasons why I'm here, as also my mom. My mom, she was the one really initiated our family to become Catholic, right? And then so my maternal grandmother was the woman number 1, and my mom was the woman number 2, and woman number 3 was the nun who asked me that question to kind of she was the one kind of sparkled my vocation, right? By asking me that question, I started discerning about it. And the 4th woman will be Mary, our mother.
Yes.
So as a newly baptized, I loved praying the rosary. Like even now I do, but then even at the time, like I was so passionate about it.
Yeah.
So I was just I was at the time at 10 p.m. at night, and then in my room I will close the door. As soon as it's 10 p.m., I'll just close the door, and I will turn off all the lights, just the 2 candles. Just to create the mood.
Yes, of course.
I don't know.
That's
so I just want to create the mood to pray.
Yeah.
So I still remember doing that. And then even like, one of the mysteries, the joyful mystery, the first mystery was the incarnation. That is, as I was deciding to become a priest or entering into the priesthood, Mary's her unconditional yes to God. But I was like, because I was also struggling with my call. Like, am I really called? I know I felt called, but then is this really my path, right? So I was like, so every time I pray that that mystery, Mary saying yes to God, you know what? I would do the same. I would just say yes to God, unconditionally, and I truly felt called to this priesthood, right? So rosary was praying the rosary was also like inspired me to discern about the priesthood as well. And so I think that's about. So eventually I went to see vocation director. So back then it was Father Chris Remieux, who is also my now pastor at my Saint Bernard parish, my new assignment, and he's my pastor. And long story short, I was confirmed later. Like later, right before I entered the seminary. He's also my confirmation sponsor. Father Chris Remieux, yes, So we have all this connection there. So I was surprised when I found out that I was assigned to that parish, because I know Father Chris Remieux, and I was really happy. Just really happy. And also I have devotion to Our Lady of Lourdes and Saint Bernadette. Obviously there's there.
See the connection.
It's like all these connections. I'm not trying to make it like, it's all meant to be. Well, who knows?
But you never know. I think it's meant to be.
Exactly. So so it was good. And eventually I went to see Father Chris Remieux, and so I can also answer to a question to what challenges did I face in discerning, announcing, or pursuing my vocation, right? So even at the time, like I knew this is my call, but at the same time, is it really? You keep
Yeah.
like doubting myself,
Yeah,
right? Doubting
yeah,
the call, right? So I share that with my vocation director, Father Chris Lemieux. Father, I don't think I'm really worthy enough to, even think about this, call, right? So one time, so I shared that thought with him, like every time I had a meeting with him. So at one point he said that, Daniel, just, none of us are worthy.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but all we have to do is, with God's grace, trust in His providence, right? So that's why He told me. So then I became, you know what? You're right.
Right,
So I accepted that I'm unworthy,
Yeah.
and also at the seminary, how we have 7 to 8 years of formation at the seminary, and every year they will evaluate you.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
So every time, sometimes people, the seminary will tell people or a seminarian, maybe it's not ready. You are not ready yet.
Yeah.
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 That doesn't mean it's not your call, but then you might need more time.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So you may not continue or right. So but that's very rare. Yes, that's
Right.
very rare. But
You didn't face any of those issues. Yeah.
So I'm bringing this up only because also even if you feel unworthy that this is your call, all your formaers, we have like 15 formaers at the seminary that has been evaluating you and observing you, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you should trust their judgment as well,
yes, of
right?
course, yeah.
Just don't rely on your own judgment.
Yeah.
But also all these formators, they're there for reason,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I was like, and someone told me that. Daniel, how about them? They're telling you that you're ready, right?
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, you're right. You're
And why
right.
do I doubt myself?
Exactly.
If someone more experienced than me is saying that
Exactly.
I see it in you and
Yeah.
you can do it. Yes.
Exactly. So that was like kind of that has been always my struggle, struggle and in uncertainty. Is this really my path,
Yes.
right? So whenever I face that, I remember what they told me, trust in their judgment, right? Also, even if you're not worthy enough, just trust in God's, with His grace, just trust in His providence,
Yeah.
right? So that was something that, I learned, right? So,
Amazing.
So
Father.
eventually I entered the seminary
Yeah.
in 2016.
Yeah.
And then here I am.
Here
now.
you
Yeah.
and on what's a typical day like at the seminary, Father? What do you guys do?
Okay, so I get that question a lot, like especially from young students.
Because you guys are like, okay, they're in the seminary. Are they cool or not? So
I don't think I'm cool. Other brother seminarians and the priests, they're all cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm that person. But yeah, pretty much we will wake up around depends on the person obviously, but usually we have morning prayer at 6:30. That may change because every year it hasn't been changed, but that may change. But time wise, But then routine wise, it was like morning prayer, and usually we have morning prayer, and then we have breakfast, and then usually we go to class we take classes in theology, scripture, and pastoral studies.
Yeah.
And afternoon we spend more. It's more dedicated to spiritual exercises.
Yeah.
And personal prayer, and around 5 p.m. But depends on the day. 5 p.m. Usually we will have a mass.
At 5.
But then, but then sometimes we have morning mass as well. So that's pretty much the days at the seminary. But then after evening mass, we will have dinner together, communal dinner together, and then we play sports. Just like normal people, we will have communal activities, and also some might have just reflection. They have another private prayer time, or so pretty much like the evening time is reserved for fostering a sense of fraternity and like mutual support among seminarians. Right. So and then usually 10 o'clock we will be in our rooms and
ready to sleep.
it's ready to sleep.
Do you guys have night prayers or something?
So usually we have morning prayer together.
Yeah.
And evening prayer on your own. And unless the mass is scheduled in the morning, then we will have evening prayer, the communal evening prayer together.
I see.
So but usually night prayer is on your compliant, is on your own. Yeah,
okay, I see. All right. And Father, you mentioned that you guys play sports like normal people. Do you have any favorite sport?
I mean,
there's only one right answer.
When I was in Korea, that's the soccer was the sports we always played, right? So when I first moved to Canada, especially my high school, the only sport they played was football. So I played that. But then I know at the seminary, the soccer is the most the popular one, and there are many guys talented, soccer players at the seminary. But then for my leisure time, I usually swim. Like I'm more like a swim there, so I like swim there. So I'm not that I'm not into it, but I'm more into solo sports.
Okay,
sports. So
I would imagine then sports is like a meditative activity for you if you do it alone.
I mean, so like interesting that you mentioned that because we play sports because for the fraternity, like to be in the thing. So if I were to go swimming, then it'll be more personal time. Personal reflection. Even like I love hiking. That's one of the reasons I shared with you. I went to the Camino, right? Camino de Santiago. So
and you went all by yourself.
All by myself, because I need I need more personal time, private time. So after the ordination, after my first mass, I went to Spain for the Camino, the walking pilgrimage.
Tell us more about that.
So I did that. So someone told me that like, Daniel, this is the only time you can do it because depends on the route you take. Because to get to the Santiago de Compostela, there are many ways to get there. So one of the ways, the most popular way is called French way, and it will take about a month minimum. But depends on person. It will take only 28 days or less than a month, but usually it takes about a month. So as a priest, you won't have that month off, right? You will get vacation in total like 4 weeks, but you can take whole month off at once, right? So someone told me that Father Daniel, this is your only chance, right? Okay, I will think about it. I didn't really make my decision. But at the same time, I also want to go back to Korea because since I came to Canada, I never went back to Korea for like more than 20 years.
Wow,
right?
that's a long time.
So I was making like kind of debating: should I go to Korea to see my relatives and cousins, or should I try Camino? So eventually, I decided to do Camino, which I'm glad I did there. So just to talk about the whole experience about Camino, you would take whole day to talk about it. So I just want to share the insights that I had during the Camino. Right, pretty much you walk every day, like minimum 25 kilometers every day, right? And during that walk, there's a yellow arrow that indicate that you should go this path, this way, right? Because 25 kilometers, you can't just rely on your navigation. Some people may not even have, data plan there, right? So,
yes, of course.
So there's like an indication that like, yellow arrow or the scallop, the sign where it indicates that this is the right way, go this way, right? So I think of this as kind of, let's think of,
life in general.
Exactly. Santiago de Compostela as the way to the heaven. It's the kingdom of heaven. And we're starting from from the beginning to and ultimately reach to the kingdom of heaven, right? The yellow arrow was the kind of sign from God, like indication that Daniel go this way, right? So he's always, even every day, if we were to go to mass every day, and then there's gospel, always this gospel there, and he will give us message there, say that go this way, do this way, follow, my way.
My way.
Exactly, right? So I thought that the
yes,
yellow...
the direction.
Exactly.
And,
but somehow, for whatever reason, we still decide to go astray, right? So I thought that, there's a sign there, yellow. Yellow arrow sign there. Why are we keep missing it? Or even though we see clearly and decide to go astray on the other way, the other direction, right? So I thought that, wow, this is something that like I've been like throughout the whole walk, right? Because I thought that sometimes I get lost, like rarely, but sometimes I just miss the sign unintentionally, right? Then also there are people behind me or in front of me
looking at you.
Looking at me, or they will say, no, that's not the way. So I thought that those people whom I don't know, they're like my friends, like in my life, my parents, or like or even strangers telling you like, Daniel, that's not the right way.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So I thought the other pilgrim there with me, right? Not necessarily I know them, but then they will just tell you, hey, that's not the right way. You're going wrong way, wrong direction, right? So I thought that those are like my friends or even parishioners.
Yes.
You know, just tell you, you know, Father, maybe we can do this way, you know, kind of, and also, you know, kind of suggesting, right? So I thought that that's something very prayerful. It was very prayerful, like overall was really prayerful. And like I said, I wanted like private time, private reflection.
Yeah.
Because all these 7-8 years of formation at the seminary, so I want to take this opportunity to go over that, you know, all 7 years, kind of wrap it up, right? So that was the moment I really, I want to spend, which I did during the walk. So that was really beautiful. Yeah. So like you said, like whole walk was like life. But sometimes it rains.
Oh yes.
Rains and then it rains and then there's a foggy. Like I couldn't see anything in front of me.
Yes.
And the weather was too hot, right? It was too dark, right?
Yeah.
It all resembles our like daily struggle, right?
Yes.
Or sometimes we face the like it's so unclear. Like whenever we face the foggy weather, it's very unclear what's like ahead of us, right?
Yes.
It's like uncertainty in a way too, right? Sometimes we always face uncertainty that is this my path, right?
Yes.
Am I going the right direction, right? So during the even like weather, like kind of made me reflect on the struggles I had, or whenever there's a good weather with a perfect temperature, I was like, this is time where I had really, I felt the joy in there. So so it was just overall, it was a gift. It was truly a gift from God, from God. After I wouldn't say it was like hard work as a seminarian, because I think, come to think of it, even though there was challenges, come to think of it, this helped me grow.
Yes, of course.
Right, just grow and in every way, every way. So I'm really grateful for their formation and all the formators at the seminary and all the staff at the seminary who worked behind the scenes, right? Just to, help us form.
Yes.
Help us, shape, the way we should be, right? So that was good.
Amazing, Father. I think that pilgrimage in itself has become your sermon.
Exactly.
Your homily. And I think it's amazing how through those signs, from the yellow arrows to the weather to everything, how you encompassed all of that and compared it to how and what we go through in life.
Exactly.
That's beautiful, Father Daniel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Father, you mentioned that you have great devotion to Our Lady of Lourdes.
Yes.
And there were, many women in your life who influenced you to become who you are today.
Yes.
So, could you tell us more about that? And do you have a favorite saint?
Yes. So, as growing up, even before I became Catholic, I always ask myself, why was I born? Like, I'm not complaining that I was born, but then what's the purpose?
Yes.
There gotta be some purpose that, why I was created, right? So one time I was reading these books about saints and I found this quote I really like, and it's by Saint Catherine of Siena. She said, is your favorite too?
Wait a minute. Let's see if it's the same quote.
No, I don't think it's that
one. It's not that one? Okay, cool. Okay.
Sorry to disappoint you, but
no, it's okay.
So she once said that, be who God meant you to be.
Yes, and you will set the world on fire. There we go.
Yeah, so yes. So that quote spoke to me. Like, that's what I've been looking for, right? And then she said it in a like really, really nice way. And then I was like, wow, yeah. So even like when I started thinking about the priesthood, I asked that question. I prayed about that, prayed on that quote, God, if this is what you meant me to be, I can't wait to set the world in place.
Yes, amazing.
But I don't want to be like too like, like dramatic, but
I think it's okay. It's not dramatic.
Yeah, I just want to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I want to be something.
Yes.
I want to be something, but then I want to be something that what God meant me to be. Yeah. So that's why like since then, like Saint Catherine of Siena has been always, she's like part of my vocation.
Really?
Yeah, because she's like, when I read that quote,
that's
my kind of motto, right? Also, like also going back to Mary, right?
Yes,
Mary,
yes.
like I like the saying where it says to Jesus through Mary.
Mary, yes.
So that's the I wrote on my the ordination the prayer card. I wrote
Really?
there. So I like it's simple, but then there's a lot.
It says everything.
It says
yes,
everything in
exactly.
there, right? So
exactly.
it's like so always whenever you struggle, you ask for turn towards Mary and ask for her for intercession. You know,
Yes.
it's almost like it's not that Jesus is not listening to us, but then even in family, like you know, I grew up really close to my mom. Like we have always have good conversation and I will even if whenever I visit my parents and I will talk to my mom and then we will start talking in the morning and then we would just talk for 5 hours, 6 hours and
that's
then
so sweet.
and then my mom would ask, so what do you want to have for lunch, right? So that's always the case for me, right? So I have this, and then sometimes you go to mom before father. Like if you want something from your father, you go to mom, right?
Yes,
and then it's like, mom, can you convince him, right? In a
Convince
way,
him, yes.
it's not that fathers won't listen to you even if you want him to directly, but then just it's more like she's interceding for us, right? She's interceding for us. So so Mary has been really big part of my life and. Even my dad, the first rosary I got was at the baptism, but second rosary, the first rosary ring I got it was from my dad actually.
That's really
So
sweet.
he got me this rosary ring, and one time again, long story short, I lost it, but then he was the one found it again.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, he found this. Okay, so I kept it nice, like a really safe place for now. But I still pray with it. But then I try not to, lose it again. But yeah, so with even those like spinning the rosary ring, I always
I see.
pray that with it. And yeah, just devotion to Mary has been like a big part of my life.
That's
and
amazing.
Yes,
Yeah, and I think she brought you here.
Exactly. Yeah.
She did. I'm convinced that she has. So I am glad.
Radio Maria, right?
Yes, Radio Maria.
yes.
Amazing. Father, now this has been your journey so far. You've told us what influenced you, what's been your story and how you got into this. Are there days when you miss praying?
Oh yeah. It's what I shouldn't have, but there were times, especially in the seminary. It's interesting how I think I prayed better before I entered seminary. Just just for me, because before I was more let's say I was more desperate in a sense. I prayed fervently, But it's not that I didn't pray like that when I entered seminary, but then there was academics involved, right? If you have papers due next day, or you have the final exams next day, or I to be honest, I spent more time on preparing for the academics, and then I just put aside the prayer. But the seminary clearly teaches that formation comes before academic.
I see.
Yeah. Right, formation before academy. Yeah, obviously, there are many times I didn't follow, not intentionally, just that I'll finish the paper first and then pray. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, that shouldn't be the way. That shouldn't be the way. And I think I'm just speaking for myself. I'm sure other seminarians they've done way better. Way better. Yeah. So like I said, seminary will guide you that formation. Prayer life is first. Which I agree. Yes. But then sometimes there were times it was hard for me to
I can
follow,
relate.
So there were times that
So that's very interesting, Father, because when you say formation before academics, can we say formation before office life, formation before doing the dishes, formation before going and watching Netflix?
Okay.
I should pray first, do my duty first, and then do my other activities.
How about we put this way then?
Okay.
How about we say, how whenever there's always prayer before meals, right? We pray before we eat. And then we usually, for me, I make a sign of cross and say it's a short prayer before I start driving.
Yeah.
And I heard from priests, how prayer life is really important, especially as a priest.
Yeah.
Because priest, as a priest, even as an associate pastor, you can be really busy and you'll be caught up with the office works, and other works, right? In the parish, right? So we might not have private prayer time, right? So many priests, said that they share that concern with the especially newly ordained priest. So, because as a newly ordained priest, you focus on learning new stuff like parish life, how to deal with this and that, right? So there are many priests that spend less time in prayer, but then that shouldn't be the way, right? Always the prayer life, which means that Christ should be the center.
The center, yeah.
Right? So Christocentric, right? So she should be always the center. And where can we meet Christ? The best time to meet Christ in prayer, right? Just prayer with God in prayer, right? So, like you asked, always prayer, formation, or now we can say prayer, exactly prayer life,
for lay people,
prayer life,
like
exactly
us,
prayer life.
Yeah.
Before anything, really, before anything, like because I'm sure we unconsciously we still do it, like prayer before meals and then prayer before driving. So always, remember that. I know sometimes it's hard.
Yes.
But don't be discouraged even if you miss once or twice or many times.
Yeah.
God sees your heart, right? That you have desire to pray. Yeah. You have desire to pray. We just have to really trust in His mercy and always find time to pray and spend time with God. Yeah.
Yes, because I typically get carried away with, the usual grace before meals, after meals, morning, night, and then the rest of the day, I don't know what I'm doing. I am lost. I'm like a ship without a sail. Yeah. and then, when you said formation before academics, for me, it was like, boom, it's time for you to find your center, your anchor, and stop being carried away with the winds.
Yeah, I like that.
That's really nice. Really nice. Thanks, Father. So, Father, is there any particular spirituality that's appealed to you?
So that question really, I had to really think about it a lot. But especially as a priest, I think that question can be also, as what would be the not best quality, like, or as I should say essential quality as a priest. I think is that putting aside all this good prayer life and devotion to Mary and trusting God. Yeah. Besides that, I think also be empathetic. Have empathy. Because as a priest, you hear a lot of stories. Yes. People would love to share stories with you, and they will share their struggle. Yes. Right. I think it's really, as a priest, sincerely understand what they're really going through. Yes. I know it's not everyone has that gift, but I think we always strive towards that direction, right? So that trying to really have good empathy skill, so you can really relate to a person. Not just I'm not saying that like all priests are pretending that I understand you, but then try to, because people see it. People see that you are being genuine or not. So,
yes, they see it.
So again, like try to be genuine. If you even if they ask you some questions that you really don't know, just tell them, okay, I will get back to you. That will happen to me a lot. To be honest, that will happen to me a lot. So I'm saying it now. Okay, so but then try to be really, try to very understanding, right? Also, like really, like also like try to be like Christ, he was very, like just Jesus, he was very passionate, like compassionate. That's what I meant, compassionate. And I think that's the essential quality. At least I'm looking.
That you're looking to.
Looking to, period. Yeah. So I think.
Okay, that's amazing. So you mentioned, and maybe I think that you like the quote by Saint Catherine of Siena, and you carried that with you throughout your vocation training and development. Is it safe to say she's your favorite saint?
She's one of my
exactly.
One of there are, I wouldn't say many, because I haven't really get a chance to read all the saints, but since you mentioned, asked me a question that this moment came to my mind. But as a newly baptized, so I remember reading about saints in Korea, how they were persecuted.
Yes.
That really, really inspired me. Like, wow. Because, if you read how they were martyred. Yes. That's just unbelievable. So I just asked myself, would I have done the same?
Yes.
right? If that moment came to me,
yes,
would I have done the same the way I was just willingly sacrifice my life
yeah,
to, staying in this faith, right? So that really inspires, even like young people, young saints especially, they're just, they just, just like, that really, really inspired me there. So there's so there are many saints. I think every saint, if once you get to know them, they will inspire you in some way or every way.
Amazing. Safe answer. You're not disappointing any saints by saying that. Oh, Father, okay. So, Father, how do you combine your prayer life with your apostolate? You mentioned that you have devotion to the rosary, which is amazing. So how do you have time for prayer and for taking care of your fold, your sheep?
So, like, just always, whenever I think about, how like combine your prayer with apostolate, again, there's a the question entails prayer and apostolate go together. They always go together. And then one of the prayers I love to do is, again, the rosary. But then it can be any form of prayer, really, right? Apostolate, so everything has to be really prayerful. And not just you being prayerful, but you should be, not you should be, but you should try to deliver that, prayerful to other people as well, right? So whenever I think of, that apostolate, like, think of Jesus as well, right? How he will just, after all this busy ministry, he will find private time to pray, right? So that's also important. Like it is necessary. It is good to have, communal prayer and pray with others. That's very important. But then also having private, personal time, just reserve that time for God. Right? Even myself, I like even though I'm the one, like, saying that is important. Even I find it hard time to find that time. But we always strive to find that time, and that's the time is really, really, really like that we all should have. So I truly believe that.
Amen.
So,
Okay. Father, one of the vows that you all have taken already, chastity, obedience, and celibacy.
Yes.
So how has celibacy been a blessing for you so far?
So
one thing I can think of, you don't have any girlfriend trouble, so that's good.
No. No. So whenever celibacy, so I think we learn, and I truly believe what I've learned, this is a gift. I think this is a gift, and allow us to really dedicate our whole self and entire being to God, right? Just God alone, and also His people. People think that by not getting married, we are, because you're a priest and then you just have you're, in a way, like you're like sacrificing your whole self to God. I don't want to really even call it a sacrifice, but like I said, this is a gift. This is a gift, and I'm happy that I can, dedicate my whole self to God and also His people. Right, I think that's what many people are missing, that part. Like we are not only being celibacy for God, but also for ourselves, but also for the people of God. So that way we can, I don't want to say like we have like less distraction. Obviously, that's not the word. But
I think I think the most temptations are faced by priests and religious.
So I think that by being celibate, you can really focus on God and His people. I think that's just something that I'm just a gift I really received from God, which I'm really, really grateful.
I think that's really profound that you said it's a gift and not something you have to give away, like begrudgingly, and you're like, oh no.
But to be honest, in the beginning, when I entered the seminary, I used to think that I'm actually sacrificing my life in a way, because
the natural way of life.
Not getting married, and then I could have a family, right? But then as you get formed, as you get shaped throughout the seminary life, it becomes, you truly learn that this is a gift.
Yes.
This is a gift. So I truly believe that, and I truly grateful for this gift. Yeah.
Amazing. God bless you, Father.
Yeah, thank you.
Father, last but not the least, well, second last, more than last, you're a newly ordained priest, and you've celebrated a handful of masses now, and heard a handful of confessions. How did it feel for you the first time you raised the host and consecrated?
Wow, that's a question I didn't expect to.
I didn't
expect, but I like the question.
question.
But I like the question.
Yeah.
I like the question.
Yeah.
Even today, you know how I celebrate mass. Thanks for inviting me. And
no worries. Please come again.
Yeah, so I was happy to celebrate mass here at Radio Maria. Good thing you mentioned that, because whenever I elevate the host, even though sometimes, of course, we should focus on Jesus, but whenever I elevate, especially, you know, I'm only 2 months old as a priest, I still like, is this really happening to me?
Really?
Yeah, is this really happening to me? And again, that unworthiness coming up, but then and go away again, but then just that, wow. But it's more like, thanks be to God.
Yes.
Really, thanks be to God, right? But that's what Eucharist is about too, like, thanks be to God, right? So I feel so grateful, and but at the same time, like, I feel more responsibility in a way, right? Right. Even though it's not really, whenever we celebrate sacraments, it's not really me, Daniel Lee,
the
doing
focus
it.
is not on
it's not me and
Yes.
Daniel doing it. It's the Jesus, it's God, you know, working through us, right? So obviously, I truly believe that, I truly aware of that, but even as a Daniel Lee, I want to be prepared for that, you know, like both, especially like spiritually, just even though it's not really me doing perform the sacraments, I just want to be ready for it.
In
be prepared.
persona Christi.
Exactly.
So after a while, it's not Father Daniel. I think after a while, it's Jesus.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. And okay, Father, last but not the least, now, how would you like to be remembered?
Wow, this question, like, I reflected, like, I meditated on it a lot. And how do I want to be remembered? Wow. Just like today's gospel, you know, like the gospel message today was, you know, the path of selfless love and service to others, right? I really want to be, you know, when, you know, someone talks about Father Daniel Lee, it's like, first of all, I want them to have, you know, kind of light smile on their face. You know, they talk about like, Father Daniel Lee, and they're not laughing, but not laughing, but a little, no, not you, the smile, just a smile, just on their face, the gentle smile that, Father Daniel Lee, but then also the, you know, they don't have to say the word, but then like they just remember me as, he was a selfless priest, and also, before the ordination, priestly ordination, His grace toward the ordinandi, that, you know, throughout the ordination, think about what grace would you ask for from God for your ministry, upcoming ministry, right? So I pray for, you know, to be a like good shepherd. Like whenever throughout the whole ordination, I thought of this image. I shared it at other places, but let's say like, after the snowy day, first thing in the morning you will see is the like, you know, the snow covered. Also the ground there, right? No one ever walked on. But I see Jesus in front of me, walking there. Just his he left all these clear footsteps there. Of course, right behind is, you know, Mary, our mother, and all the saints. And I think priests, if I may say, I think the priests are the like right after the saints and other holy people, right? And right after me will be the parishioners and all these faithful, or the people of God, right? So, as a priest, I think I should focus on the footsteps
Yes.
that Jesus made.
Yeah.
Right? And all I have to do is just follow that footsteps
Yeah.
and step on that every step
Yes.
that Jesus made and Mary made and
Yeah.
Mary and all the saints left behind for me.
Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of, I don't know why that immediately fixed in my head.
Yes.
And then, where if I go astray and make new footsteps that on my own,
Yeah.
not following God's Jesus step, then people will follow this way.
Yes.
Right, so I have that responsibility, but also at the same time, in order to follow that step, I think I should be really selfless.
Yes.
And then it's not about me; it's
not
about
about-
God. It's
yeah.
about His people.
Yes.
So I want to be remembered as selfless
Yes.
priest who was really selfless and who really surrendered whole self to God. I think that's how I remember. So I don't know. Maybe just in relation to that, I just brought. It's not much a quote. It's more like a poem.
Oh, beautiful! Let's
yeah.
hear it. Yeah.
So this message was sent to me just before my diaconate ordination.
Okay.
And it was sent from Korea. She used to be at my home parish in Canada.
Really?
But then she went back and then.
Okay.
But so Korean nun, she's Benedictine
I see.
nun, and she sent me this message right before my diaconate ordination.
Yeah.
So I just want to share with
Sure,
you. So pretty much the message is about how you are be selfless, and and more focus on service to others and love others more than love yourself, right?
Yeah.
So it says, rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you.
Beautiful. I think that's beautiful, Father. And that's a very, very nice way to end our episode of Voices of Vocations. Thank you so much, Father Daniel, for once again taking the time out to come all the way from Ajax. I'm sure St. Bernadette's is very lucky to have you. And I hope to visit my old parish once again. Formation before academics and God before everything else. That's the key takeaway from our chit chat with Father Daniel Lee. We at Radio Maria Canada hope and pray that our Lord and Our Lady accompany Father Daniel on this priestly journey throughout his life. God bless you all, and goodbye from the studios of Radio Maria Canada.
You have been listening to Voices of Vocation here on Radio Maria Canada.